I was in a hotel room in Denver when I opened the app. Just a routine check, something I did every night when I traveled. Make sure Tyler was asleep. Make sure the house was secure. The living room camera showed darkness. Normal. Kitchen empty. Normal. I swiped to the hallway feed. The bedroom door was cracked open. Light spilling out. It was 10:30. Tyler's bedtime was 8. I zoomed in. The angle caught just enough of the bedroom through the doorway. My wife was visible, standing near the bed. She was laughing. Then a man's hand appeared on her waist. Not my hand. I sat up, expanded the frame, adjusted the resolution. The man stepped into view. Taller than me. Younger. He kissed her neck. She tilted her head back, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in years. I checked the timestamp. 9:47 p.m. Our son's room was directly across the hall. I switched cameras. Tyler's door was closed. His nightlight glowed underneath. He was asleep, unaware. I went back to the hallway feed. They were moving toward the bed now. Her hands on his chest. His mouth on hers. I didn't close the app. I watched for another 3 minutes. Took screenshots. Recorded the screen. Then I opened my messages. Found my wife's last text from 2 hours earlier. Tyler's asleep. Miss you. Safe travels. I stared at it. Typed nothing. Instead, I called someone I trusted. David, I need a favor. How fast can you get to my house? David arrived in 12 minutes. Former detective. Lived 4 blocks away. I'd helped him through a custody case last year. Now he owed me. I stayed on the phone with him, watching the camera feed. Park across the street, I said. Don't approach yet. Just watch. What am I looking for? A car that isn't mine. He went silent. Then, black Audi. Driveway. I switched to the front camera. There it was. Slick. Expensive. Parked like it belonged there. Run the plates. I heard him typing on his phone. 30 seconds later, registration comes back to a Ryan Castellano. Address in Meadowbrook. That mean anything? It did. Ryan Castellano. The new hire at my wife's firm. She'd mentioned him exactly once, 6 weeks ago. Said he was sharp and eager to learn. She'd started working late every Thursday after that. Today was Monday. Stay there, I told David. I need to see how this ends. I watched the hallway camera. Waited. At 11:15 movement. Ryan emerged first, buttoning his shirt. My wife followed, hair disheveled, wearing a robe I'd bought her last Christmas. They stopped at the front door. She handed him something, his jacket. He kissed her again. Long, comfortable. She opened the door. Checked the street. Let him out. I watched him walk to the Audi. Watched her close the door, lock it, lean against it with her eyes closed. Smiling. David's voice. He just left. Want me to follow? No. Go home. I'll call you tomorrow. I hung up. Opened my notes app. Started documenting everything. Times. Names. Screenshots. Video files. Then I booked a flight home for the morning. Told no one. I didn't sleep. Spent the night reviewing every camera feed from the past month. The app stored 30 days of motion-triggered recordings. I found them. September 9th. Ryan's car in the driveway. 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. September 16th. Same car. 10 p.m. to midnight. September 23rd. This time he arrived at 9. Left at 2 a.m. Always when I traveled. Always when Tyler was asleep. I downloaded every file. Organized them by date. Backed them up to 3 separate cloud accounts. Then I checked our joint bank statements. Dinner charges I didn't recognize. A hotel in the city, booked on a Saturday I'd taken Tyler to his grandmother's. New lingerie purchases. A wine subscription I'd never approved. All small. All easy to miss. I wasn't missing anything now. At 6 a.m. I canceled my meetings. Told my assistant I had a family emergency. Flew standby on the first flight out. Landed at noon. I didn't go home. I went to a coffee shop 3 blocks away. Opened my laptop. Started making calls. First, a divorce attorney. Not just any attorney, the one my business partner had used. Ruthless. Expensive. Effective. I need a consultation today. I'm booked until today. I'll pay double your rate. Silence. Then, 3 p.m. My office. Second call, a private investigator. Someone David had recommended once. How fast can you do a full background check? On who? Ryan Castellano. Everything. Employment history. Financials. Relationship history. I need it in 48 hours. That's aggressive. I'll pay for aggressive. Send me his details. I hung up, opened my banking app, started separating finances, transferred funds from joint accounts to a business account she didn't have access to. Legal? My lawyer had confirmed it years ago when we set up the structure. Then I went home. My wife's car was in the garage. She didn't know I was back. I parked down the street, walked to David's house. I need to borrow your guest room again, I said. He looked at me. Understood immediately. How long? Until I'm ready. The attorney's name was Helen Carr. She didn't smile when I sat down. Just opened a leather portfolio and clicked her pen. Tell me everything. I showed her the videos, the bank statements, the timeline. She watched without expression. When I finished, she leaned back. Colorado is an equitable distribution state, but infidelity affects spousal support. With this evidence, you'll keep primary assets and likely get full custody. I want more than that. Explain. She works at Morrison & Hale. Senior associate. Up for partner next year. I want her career implications documented. If she's using firm resources for an affair with a subordinate, that's an ethics violation. Helen's eyebrow raised. You've thought this through. I had a long flight. She made notes. I'll need a retainer. $15,000. I wrote the check. Don't tell her you're back in town, Helen said. Let her think everything's normal. We need more evidence of pattern and intent. I nodded. The PI called that evening. Got preliminary results on Castellano. He's 28. Single. Clean record. But here's the interesting part. He was hired specifically at your wife's request. She interviewed him personally. Pushed his application through HR despite minimal experience. How minimal? 2 years out of law school. Failed the bar twice. Not exactly Morrison & Hale material. I absorbed that. Keep digging. At David's house, I set up a second monitoring station. Linked all the cameras to my laptop. Added motion alerts. My wife texted at 7, Tyler's asking about you. When are you back? I typed, Wednesday. Miss you both. She replied with a heart emoji. I watched the live feed. She was making dinner. Tyler was doing homework at the table. Normal. Domestic. At 9, after Tyler went to bed, she poured wine. Changed into something casual. Then she texted someone. Ryan's Audi appeared in the driveway at 9:40. I recorded everything. This time, I also tracked his route using a vehicle monitoring service the PI had accessed. He came straight from his apartment. No stops. Routine. They were comfortable. Sloppy. Perfect. I stayed hidden for 6 more days. Watched the pattern repeat. Ryan came over every night I was supposedly away. Same routine. Same carelessness. On day 5, the PI delivered his full report. Ryan Castellano wasn't just underqualified. He had debt. $73,000 in student loans. Max credit cards. An eviction notice from 2 years ago. Then, 3 months ago, everything changed. His cards were paid down. New apartment lease signed. New car purchased. Where'd the money come from? I asked. Can't confirm yet. But the timeline matches when your wife started her promotion push. She's on the partner track. That comes with a significant bonus structure. I understood immediately. She wasn't just having an affair. She was investing in him. Positioning him. Probably promised him partnership connections, career advancement, financial support. He was her project. I called Helen. I need you to subpoena Morrison & Hale's HR records. Hiring documents. Emails between my wife and Ryan Castellano. Performance reviews. That'll alert her. Not yet, it won't. File it as part of discovery after we serve papers. She won't see it coming until it's too late. You're sure about this? Completely. I started the next phase. Returned home Wednesday afternoon as planned. Pulled into the driveway. Normal smile. Normal greeting. Tyler ran to me. Dad. I hugged him. Looked over his shoulder at my wife. She kissed me. How was Denver? Productive. That night I was attentive. Asked about her week. Listened to Tyler's school stories. Played the husband she expected. In bed she moved closer. I didn't pull away. Afterward she fell asleep quickly. I stayed awake. Stared at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. Message from Helen. Papers ready. Court date secured. Financial injunctions prepared. When do you want to execute? I typed, 1 more week. Let her feel safe. The next morning I told my wife I had another trip scheduled. Where this time? Seattle. 3 days. Her face brightened slightly. She tried to hide it. When? Monday. She nodded, kissed my cheek. Travel safe. I didn't go to Seattle. I went to David's house and waited. Monday night, Ryan's Audi pulled up at 9:30, earlier than usual. I watched the cameras. He walked in like he owned the place, kissed her in the foyer. She laughed, that same laugh I'd heard weeks ago. They didn't go straight to the bedroom this time. They sat in the living room, drank wine, talked. I turned up the audio feed. The cameras had sound. When are you going to tell him? Ryan asked. My wife sipped her wine. Soon. After the partnership vote. I can't risk the optics right now. How much longer? 2 months. Maybe 3. Then I file. He won't fight it. He's too focused on work to notice what's happening. Ryan leaned back. And the house? 50-50 split in Colorado. But I'll get Tyler. Full custody. He travels too much to be a primary parent. What about money? She smiled. His business accounts are joint marital property. I've already documented everything. He'll keep the business, but I'll get liquid assets, half the retirement accounts and child support. Ryan kissed her neck. Then we're set. We're set. I stopped the recording. Saved it. Sent it to Helen with a single message, execute tomorrow. She replied, confirmed. That night I came home early. Walked in at midnight. My wife was in bed alone looking surprised. I thought you were in Seattle until Wednesday? Meetings wrapped up early. Wanted to surprise you. She smiled. Relaxed. I'm glad you're home. I kissed her forehead. Me too. The next morning I made breakfast. Got Tyler ready for school. Acted normal. My wife left for work at 8. At 8:45, a process server arrived at Morrison & Hale. He handed her the divorce papers in the lobby. I got the confirmation text at 8:53. At 9, Helen filed the subpoena for firm records. At 9:15 my wife called. I didn't answer. She called again. Then texted, what the hell is this? I replied, you'll hear from my attorney. Then I blocked her number. Drove to Tyler's school. Picked him up early with permission from the principal. I'd already filed emergency custody documents. Where's Mom? He asked. She's at work, buddy. You're staying with me for a bit. He didn't question it. We went to a lawyer-approved temporary residence. And waited. The hearing was set for Friday. Emergency custody and temporary restraining orders on all joint assets. My wife's attorney tried to delay. The judge denied it. I arrived early. Sat in the front row. Helen beside me, organized and calm. My wife entered 10 minutes later. Her attorney looked stressed. She looked furious. Our eyes met across the courtroom. She looked away first. All rise. The judge reviewed the filings. Looked up at my wife's attorney. Your client wishes to contest the emergency custody order? Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Garrett is a dedicated mother who... Helen stood. Your Honor, we have video evidence showing Mrs. Garrett engaged in an extramarital affair in the family home while the minor child slept across the hall. Multiple occurrences. We also have recorded conversations where she discussed hiding assets and manipulating custody arrangements. The judge's expression hardened. I'd like to see that evidence. Helen submitted a USB drive. The judge watched on a monitor only she could see. 30 seconds. A minute. 2 minutes. She looked at my wife. Is this you in the video? My wife's attorney whispered something to her. She nodded slowly. Yes, Your Honor. And this conversation about custody manipulation, you said these things? Silence. Yes. The judge removed her glasses. Temporary custody is granted to Mr. Garrett. Mrs. Garrett will have supervised visitation pending full hearing. All joint accounts are frozen. Neither party may dispose of marital assets. My wife's face went pale. Furthermore, the judge continued, I'm ordering a full financial disclosure from both parties within 14 days. Helen leaned toward me. Whispered, she's going to find the payments to Ryan. The judge wasn't finished. Mrs. Garrett, are you currently employed at Morrison & Hale? Yes, Your Honor. I'm recommending the State Bar Association be notified of potential ethics violations related to workplace conduct. That's outside this court's jurisdiction, but it will be noted in the record. My wife's attorney stood quickly. Your Honor, that's noted and filed. Next hearing is scheduled for November 4th. Dismissed. The gavel came down. My wife turned to me. Her mouth opened. I stood. Walked out with Helen. In the hallway my phone buzzed. The PI. Morrison & Hale just put her on administrative leave. Effective immediately. I texted back. And Ryan? Terminated an hour ago. Perfect. The final hearing was 60 days later. Her attorney tried to negotiate. Helen refused every offer. The evidence was overwhelming. The videos, the recordings, the financial trail showing she'd paid Ryan's debts with marital funds, the ethics investigation from the state bar. The judge awarded me primary custody. She got every other weekend. Supervised for the first 6 months. I kept the house, the business accounts, retirement savings. She got her car and whatever she'd managed to save in her personal account, roughly $18,000. Child support was calculated based on her current income. 0. She'd find work eventually, the judge noted, and payments would adjust then. Morrison and Hale released a quiet statement. She'd resigned. The partner vote had been withdrawn. Ryan Castellano moved back to Ohio. I heard he was working at a small firm doing contract review. My wife rented a 1-bedroom apartment on the east side. Started applying for positions at smaller firms. None called back. The legal community talks. I never spoke to her outside of custody exchanges. Tyler adjusted. Kids are resilient when one parent stays consistent. I sold the bedroom furniture. Repainted. Removed every trace. One Saturday, dropping Tyler off for visitation, she tried to talk to me. Ethan, can we just? No. I walked back to my car. She'd gambled everything on a 28-year-old with debt and no future. I'd simply documented her choice and let the system respond. She lost her career. Her home. Her son. Ryan lost everything too. I kept what mattered. Some mistakes don't get second chances.